Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Gaming Fuse podcast. I am your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Newf Nukem in the room. Yes, it is time to light your, time to ignite your passion. Yes, the Gaming Fuse, and as predicted, yes, did not go off seamlessly as my computer is acting absolutely atrocious right now, and I can't figure out if it's the computer or it's the internet. My internet should be good. I would say 90%. I'm going to have to blame it on this absolute piece of junk computer that I bought several years ago. It should be more than adequate to do a podcast, but it's troubled me forever. And anybody who's stuck around and watched my podcast long enough knows that this thing is absolute trash. And I'm going to have to get that figured out here as time goes on. So I do apologize. I put together a little intro. It's not the best ever. Before I introduce my panel member, we get into the topics and all that good stuff. You are in for a real treat. I am so excited to be back with everybody. It is good to be here. You guys mean the world to me, and it is good to be back in the loop. And I think if you're certainly a fan of Gaming After Dark, I think you are definitely going to like the direction this one is going to be in. If you haven't heard already, like I said, typically, and this might not, we might not stick to it tonight because it is the inaugural episode, but generally moving forward, the goal is to have myself, the panel, and any guests come on, kind of, keep the show, the pace high, the energy high, and get in and out of topics quickly and stuff like that, as well as interact with the audience, because that's what I'm all about. I've always been and always will be. And all that good stuff. So welcome. Going to give some introductions, obviously, to the people that make this happen, the people that have stuck by me through thick and thin. Got to give a shout out to you amazing people in the chat, including Talos Ray. The always wonderful Doggy Dog is in the building. We got Princess Zelda on standby here. What is happening? We've also got Caffeine Entertainment's in the building. We got Mental 9R. What's going on? We got Thimber, a fantastic, obviously he's a moderator and certainly one of the big supporters of KY Bob and the podcast that I guest on Thursday nights. Game Set Live, and we got Spider-Man 356. It wouldn't be a Newf Nukem podcast without his support. Your Wicked Hot is here as well, another longtime supporter. Brando Calrizi is in the building. What is going on? Percolator is here as well. Saltiest Gaming hanging out with us tonight. Pixel Slapper here. Man, oh man, some great people here already. So thank you so much for that. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So here we go. It is time to go. Boom, boom, kaboom. Let's roll into it without any further ado. This has been one of the biggest questions I've been asked in the past couple of months. How many panel members you're going to have? Who's going to be on the panel? Well, I am very excited, and I was very surprised. He accepted my invite. Yes, it's a he. And making his triumphant return, the man who brings the common back the sense, the one, the only, the former co-host of Gaming After Dark, Titan Drago.
Stupefy. What's going on, man? What is up, everybody? The surprise was ruined when you say my tagline.
Yeah, I should have let you do it from now on. That will be your thing. But yes, it is. Titan Drago is in the building, and I hope that many of you are pleasantly surprised. There was concerns that he would never come back, but ever since Gaming After Dark has wrapped, I don't know how many people said, man, Gaming After Dark was awesome, but Gaming After Dark was especially awesome when it was me, Titan, and Meg. Now, Meg is out of the question, no doubt about that, but I told Titan when he left Gaming After Dark, I said, man, you've always got an open invitation with me no matter where I go, and we switched up the night and the time, so with his schedule, I think this might work in his favor a little bit better than the former. And like I said, because we're going to try to keep this podcast floating along, here we are. So, and already you got the Smite hate, Titan. But what have you been up to, brother?
I've been up to a lot of everything but Smite, actually. I have not played Smite in, I don't know, it might be going on 2 months, which hasn't happened in 8 years. So a lot of crazy stuff with gaming. I can't even tell you how many games I've been playing simultaneously. It's upwards around 8 to 10 games. I'm talking everything from Railroad Simulator 2 and Game Pass to trying to just got Diablo 4 tonight. So Oh my gosh, man, it's been nutty with the gaming, and it's great to see everyone. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. Doggy Dog, what's up, brother? Talos Ray, man. Like, yeah, I like schedule's finally coming around. My schedule's finally slowing down, so I'm just glad we're able to get hooked back up and do what we do best, man.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, it's easy to get panel members on a podcast, but to find people that have, very similar, goals or aspirations or whatnot. But most importantly, it's just that people that can bring that energy, and we've always had that since day one. So I'm really happy and fortunate to have you back. Wasn't the same without you, and the chat felt that too. So glad to have you back, Titan. I can't thank you from the bottom of my heart enough for being here and being a part of this inaugural run. And this is a run that isn't going anywhere. No matter what happens with this podcast, I have promised the viewers, the people that are here supporting, that the Gaming Fuse is here to stay. It is still an M-rated podcast, as you may have seen at the end of the intro. Yes, the intro got botched. Hopefully next week we got that all ironed out. Pixel Slap is here. OCD Gamer in the building. Dreadpool is hanging out with us as well. Good to see you, Dread. Also, we got Two Pad Stack, a.k.a. Old Dizzy Delta's in the building. My Canadian brother is here. Iconic Video Games is in the house. That means Axel 1324 is lingering. Good to see you here, my brother. Good. All right. AP Cool J, we used to call him. He is APXRP. What's happening, brother? Good to see you here as well, man. The crowd is here. The longtime supporters, great faces. Hopefully we'll pick up some new people along the way. But in the meantime, Titan, you talked about Diablo 4. It is one of the hottest games going right now. Obviously, it comes with a big following. It is a multi-plat. Scores have been really good with Metacritic, and it is pretty much out now. Some people have been fortunate enough to play it several days early with the launch. Obviously, you're excited about it. I'm tempted to pick it up. I don't know. But what are your initial impressions of Diablo? And how big is this game initially? Is this potentially one of the biggest games of the year? Does it warrant all the hype?
Yeah, I think so. I was watching Crossfire on my way up from Disney. Yeah, we just got back from Disneyland or Disney World, the one in Florida. I can never remember. But either way, coming back up, I was listening to Crossfire, and he had a guy on the show named Thai Guy Travis, and I feel like everyone needs to listen to this dude because, like, all right, I played Diablo 3. Never even beat it. I'm like, I think I'm really close to beating it. But the thing is, like with Diablo, it's all about the end game. And this guy explained Diablo like in a really good, like noob friendly way, if you want to put it, because I'm just gonna call myself that because I haven't played it in so long. But yeah, like beating the game essentially, usually beating the games, like, you're done, especially with a person like me. Once I beat a game, I'm done. I usually don't like to rinse and repeat. However, Diablo, it's all about the end game. And this guy, Thai Guy Travis, tie-dye. This guy, I was like, everything he was saying, I was like loving, man. I was eating it up. And it really surprised me that this guy is from IGN. I was like, what? I was like, well, they do have legit people that work over there because me, I am not an IGN lover, and I don't know about you. Like, where do you stand with IGN? 1 to 10, rate IGN as a news outlet.
Oh boy. Well, back in the day, it was the news outlet, but over the past few years, the bias has certainly been very prominent. They've lost a lot of hosts that I used to like as well. So honestly, I would have to say for me and IGN, I'd give them about a 6. I mean, adequate. At times they're on point. Other times it's just completely off the mark. But again, when we come to rating games and stuff, it's very subjective. And obviously, when you're paid to promote something, a lot of times you have to wonder if there's a little bit of bias that creeps in on certain things. But, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I mean, there's certainly still a far cry ahead from some of the other sites that have been out there. What's the one that always people used to complain about? Kotaku, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That one's been horrible. And then there used to be one with the bomb name in it. What the hell was that one called?
I don't remember that one, but a new one has popped up recently. I think it's Games Radar.
Oh, Games Radar, yeah, where the guy did that stuff on the Xbox or whatever there.
There's been like I've been all over him. Like every post I see, and Doggy's there with me, man. He's always there with my posts, man, liking and
Yeah.
retweeting stuff like that. Super good, super awesome friend, Doggy Dog, supporting, man. And yeah, like I don't know, like it seems like the past 4 months they've just been on a Xbox hate rampage, and it's like, all right, let's kind of clear the air, right? Because I've been gone a while, right? And like I think we can all safely say a lot of Xbox faithful have been like, I wouldn't say I don't know if let down is the right answer. We've been kind of like disgruntled maybe for here and
Certainly.
there, because like Xbox seems to make all these good moves and then they fall their face with Redfall, and some people are loving Redfall. I have not tried it out yet. I am not going to try it out until that 60 frames mode comes out, because I didn't buy these consoles. It's literally to the point now for me, and like I have never been a 60 FPS or die person, right? I've always been like, hey, I could play 30 frames a second. I love the way the graphics look, yada yada yada. But it's not right now. That was years ago, Right now, we're knee deep into a generation, and these consoles should be doing 60. It's coming from Xbox brass, right?
That in itself has become one of the weirdest points ever, and it really started back when, I think it really became prominent when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, and we had that whole 1080p versus the 720 narrative, and it really hasn't slowed down since. It just kind of goes in lulls, and it seems like it becomes very prominent, especially when the Xbox platform seems to be leading the way in potentially like frames per second and resolution more so than the others. And I want to make it very clear again to those people that are watching the podcast. This is a multi-platform podcast, but yes, both I and Titan, I mean, we're primarily Xbox guys. I mean, that's our platform of choice. It's been for a long time, and probably will be for another long time. But we're just calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. And the narrative's really changed, and it's still like, here we are talking about performance all the time when we should technically be talking about the actual games themselves. But within that, like, there's a lot of situations where a lot of the games that we're playing today should be running a lot better than they are, especially considering the lengthy time period they've been in development and the kind of hardware that we're using right now, which is no slouch. Whether you have a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, there shouldn't be as much issues as we've been running into. And even the very capable Xbox Series S is a very capable console. I mean, obviously it has some sacrifices, but I mean, for the price, you really can't beat it. So it's crazy. Just before we continue this conversation, let's get to the super chat. And it does come in from one of our biggest longtime supporters, a good friend of the show, good friend of Titan and Princess Zelda and Axel. You know him as Doggy Dog 420 from the Iconic Video Games Podcast, and he drops the first super chat of the evening. Very stereotypical. Titan, I'm going to let you have the honors.
Sorry, I'm like kind of rusty over here. He says, welcome back, Newf.
Hey, that was a pretty good Doggy Dog impression too.
Welcome back, Newf. I gotta get his dog. I gotta get his Dr. Doggy, man. I love his Dr. Doggy voice.
Awesome. Absolutely, man. We got a great crowd in here tonight. I think Brando Calrizi said in the chat, or might have been Dizzy Delta, something about, I thought this podcast was going to have goats in pajamas. So I don't know where that promise came from, but sorry to disappoint. No goats in pajamas here. All righty. Who else we got going on in the chat tonight? Let's see. We Pixel Slap and Vic at the Click. Long time no see. Good to see you back here as well. And Vic drops a super chat as well. So let's catch up with that real quick. Here we go. He drops it. There you go. Vic the Click, $2. Titan, take it away.
Congratulations on your return. Appreciate it, Vic.
Well, it's good to be back, and thank you to you guys for returning with me. It's been a long time coming, and you know how excited. I mean, I knew Titan was coming back here for, probably over a month, I guess, for sure.
Yeah, and you almost spoiled it on your test show. I don't know if anyone caught that.
Last night, I kind of let the cat out of the bag. It was pretty funny.
I was watching. Someone asked him a question. I don't remember what the question was, but he's like, oh, it's a question about being on camera. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be on camera too much. He goes, Titan, Meg, and kind of like went on the stage. But I was like, you almost blew it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody caught it because it kind of happened so quick and I covered it up. But yeah,
Right.
in the chat, some people don't think so highly of IGN, including Mental 9R, who gives it a 2. Doggy gives IGN a 1. Spider-Man gives it a 2. So Pixel Slapper says 0. So very little respect here for IGN, and that's not a good sign.
Well,
Like
they're
I
not
said,
doing.
they're hit and miss, right?
I feel like they're not doing their actual job, man. Like they're taking their job, and then they're like, there's like imagine this bubble around it. They're exceeding that what should be in their bubble, you know. And when you go outside of that bubble, when you start throwing out too much opinion and stuff, and I don't know, I guess nonsensical hate, you know, like people, you're gonna get blowback for that, and they just keep doing it and keep doing it. And I hope, my God, I hope that just people, when they see these links, they're like when I see a link like that, I am like purposefully not clicking on that link. I will fucking rather choke myself out than click on a link that's all PlayStation has to do is show up to be Xbox. You know, I can't stand shit
like Axel says in the chat, they refuse to acknowledge what is obvious to everyone else. Now, do you think when it comes to IGN as well, do you think that part of it, I mean, we know what sells, we know what gets clicks. And obviously, I think they get a hell of a lot more clicks on their site for Xbox negative articles as opposed to positive ones, right? So do you think that when they're going through editorials and articles that they're sort of cognizant of what they're doing and perhaps elevate that a little bit, knowing full well? Like, do you think that's legit, or do you think they know exactly what they're doing and they know that shit's going to get hate?
They do know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. I'm glad you added that little tiff at the end there, because I mean, our friends over at the XNC podcast, they're still going on right now, right? For another, probably 40 minutes? Are they on for another 40 minutes or so? Or did they end at 9?
They end at 9, I think. And apologies to Meg and Colt. They have an amazing podcast, and I didn't want to cross over, but I thought they actually started earlier, but I guess I was wrong. And at the end of the day, like I said, there's so many podcasts out there right now. If we try to dance around everybody that we respect and admire, we'll probably be like podcasting at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, which would be probably great for our friends across the seas in the UK, but not so good for us. So this is the time slot we're in, like it or lump it, but we appreciate everybody being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the thing is, they're not going to mind us doing this anyways. We're all the 4 of us are, like, I would say, pretty tight in the community.
We're not gonna steal any major views from Colt Eastwood. That's
right,
sure,
exactly. Right? So. Well, hopefully we can get those bandwagon viewers at the end of their show. Like, but the thing is, that's hard to do. Like, once you watch one of the podcasts and like go into another podcast, that's hard to do unless you're on like a road trip or driving for work or something like that. But anyways, yeah, it's huge that we've got 30 watching now, and I was telling you, if I was like, I don't expect good numbers tonight, man. It's like Diablo just came out an hour ago. Like, I was playing like up until the very last minute I could, you know, to get on this thing podcast, because I just made my character. Like, we're kind of all over the place. I got so much to say, you know. We got to talk about Diablo. We got to talk about IGN. Yeah. We got to talk about. We got so much, so excuse us if I'm just bouncing around from here. That's okay.
Forgive us tonight. The format will be loose, as I said, because it is episode 1, and like I said, we're just kind of getting rolling. But I promise you, this podcast will only get better with your support, with lots of advice and stuff like that. And as I said at the top of the show, one of my next big missions is to get a new computer so I can stop running into technical hiccups every time I try to like run like 3 screens more at once. But hey, it is what it is. We got a couple more super chats. Let's get them real quick. Plus, we got some fantastic people in the chat, including Red Monkey Butt, which is probably the best name of the night. Good to see you, Red Monkey Butt. We got Dragonheart Yobi here as well. He is good to see us back. I said, don't stop this shit, man. Back with a vengeance. Good to have you here, Dragonheart Yobi. One of the best, man. Member of Positivity. APXRP, AP Cool J is here, and he says, yes, check out Season Gaming on Sunday mornings. Absolutely, with Ainsley and company. Great show right there. But let's get to the super chats real quick. Percolator, he draws $5. Good to see you in the chat, Percolator. Mr. Titan, take it away.
He says, welcome back, Newf Nukem. I'm glad you're back. Then there's Titan Drago. Newf, I think you mute Titan Mike's show will be great again. So if you mute me, it'll be great. And he closes up his $5 by saying Smite sucks. That's a pretty good closure. But, like I said, I haven't played Smite in like 2 months. And you know what stopped me from playing Smite? All right, so there's metas and things change in games.
You got your fingers cutting a cheese grinder?
No, I mean, they got to change things up here and there. But it's like I'm playing carry, and it's like wave 2, so we all hit level 3 same time. And I get a kill. I kill their carry, and then I kill their support. So I got a double kill. I'm 2-0. And clear wave. My wave goes under their tower, so they lose that XP. I'm going to get XP from camps. I come back. I see their carry coming up. Motherfucker's the same level as I am. I just got a fucking double kill. You lost a half of a wave. I got a camp. And we're the same level. That right there was the straw that broke Titan's back for Smite. Let me tell you. If I get a double kill, second wave, man, I better be at least one level ahead of you. And they've taken so many anti-snowballing measures that it is just ruined the game for me. I'm not gonna play a game if I'm not getting rewarded for what I do. And what's the point? You know
it's
what I mean?
Amazing with games like that have been around a while that they keep fixing them until they basically break them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all kinds of meta changes in that game too, and most of them you can work it out. But it's when I get a double, what the fuck is the point of me even playing this game? Anyways, moving on. I think it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man said IGN gave Sony show a 9 because of foam stars. Is that real? Am I reading that right? Because I did not see their
I don't
review.
know anything about that. That foam stars looked hilarious. Looked like an absolute dog shit game, but we can all tell what they're going for there. A copy off of Splatoon, but I liked the Sony show personally. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, they showed tons of games. I was only disappointed with the fact that they didn't show enough first party, and I thought with the major amount of shows they basically canceled and missed, and with the fact this was a prime real estate time to show some stuff coming out for next year, and I think Sony missed the mark. I don't really know what their thinking is behind that, but yeah, it is what it is. We got another one coming in here. Super chat coming in from our good buddy Dreadpool. He drops $2. Go ahead, Titan.
Welcome back, Carter. Wait, wrong show.
Yes, it is the wrong show. But yeah, it's good stuff here, guys. Talos Ray, what's happening, man? Yeah. Another little thing, guys. Another little tidbit just in the middle of all this, not to kind of take us off topic, but here's how much has changed since Gaming After Dark basically shut down. One, I actually started playing Fortnite not too long ago, and I said I never would, but I finally gave in and I did. And as a matter of fact, I've had some of the best Fortnite games ever with the man on the screen, Titan Trago and his lovely wife, Princess Zelda. We've actually had some really good shows. Really good games, and I play a lot with my buddy Seamus all the time. He's the reason I actually got into it, believe it or not, because this is a guy who literally, for all the years I've known him, he played sports religiously. No matter what console he'd buy, he was playing NHL, Madden, FIFA, sports games, right? Rarely would ever play a shooter. And then he finally started playing this game, and every night I'd jump on, he was starting to play this game. And I said, well, something's got to be up here, because one, he doesn't really care for shooters too much, and two, he keeps playing this game over and over. So I finally jumped in. When I was in bed one night, I just jumped on the Switch and fired it up, and I went, you know what? It's actually not half bad. And I did pretty good starting out. Of course, I think they had the player caps leveled to where I was starting, but regardless, they build you up, give you a little confidence, and I found it easily playable, and it wasn't as confusing or convoluted as some of the other shooters, and the rest is history. I kind of downloaded it on the PlayStation and on the Xbox, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. Second, since Gaming After Dark, not only have I played Fortnite, I've actually kind of embraced digital a little bit now. I have Game Pass, believe it or not. Yes, Newf has Game Pass. And I even bought an Xbox Series S. I have it in the bedroom, and I actually love it. It's a very convenient, awesome little console. So there you go. And I no longer have Modern Warfare 2 because I destroyed my copy, my controller, and a headset a while back. Yeah, so there you go. Just a quick update for you.
And that's another good thing, Newf. You don't. It's so strange you love physical things, because you need them to break them every once in a while. And hey, you're really saving yourself a ton of money by going digital.
Yeah, no doubt. Now
unless you go for the console itself, which you do not do that. Don't go any farther than the controller.
Yeah, no, I got to stop doing that. The controllers really hurt, man. I mean, those things aren't cheap, and you can only have so many. So there you go. Royal Boyle is in the house tonight. What is going on, brother Boyle? Good to see you here as well. And he drops a super chat. Let's catch up with that real quick, and then we're going to get back to the Diablo conversation real quick. There you go. How about it, Titan?
Newf, welcome home, brother. Miss you, buddy. Can't wait to see what's in store in the coming weeks. Always here to support you. What's up, Titan? What's up, Royal Boyle? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Newf, what is in the coming weeks? Because I know we got a potential third. We're not sure, though, right?
Yes, we technically do. I will say that next week you are going to be introduced to panel member number 3. He was actually technically panel member number 2. I've invited him on. He is a Canadian. Nobody really knows who he is. I can say after sitting down and chatting with him, yes, it is him, that he's very intelligent and articulated. And I do think he'll be a pretty good fit on the show because he certainly can bring in that high-end tech talk, the stuff that a lot of us can't break down. You know what I mean? Sort of like our version of Dealer or D-Batch, essentially. But no, it's not neither one of those guys. Don't worry about that. But, he's hopefully going to start next week. And I basically sort of left it open because there's a few stipulations. I want to make sure that he fits well and he feels he fits well. And then if he thinks it's something that he would like to do long term, then the opportunity is there, or the opening is there. But we're going to see. We'll find out as we go along. So, yeah, it's a Canadian. Yeah, we're going to add some more Canadians to the panel, hopefully.
Some more Canadian bacon. I'm going to have to cast some spells on him when he comes in here.
Oh, my Lord. What was that? What the hell was that?
It's my Death Eater wand, man. I got it from Disney, man. Sweet.
I was going to say, put your pants back on and stop showing us your big head. Looks a little green and mutilated. Oh, man. All right. Woo! So back to the Diablo. See, we've already gone off the rails here already, and we're at the 7:30 mark, which means we got about a half an hour left in this show. We're going to introduce you to another cast member, so to speak, later on in the show, and this will be a highlight. This is one of the things I've been dying to show everybody. So stick around before we close the show. I've got somebody to introduce you all to. Small guy with a big personality coming up here shortly, so don't miss out on that. So anyway, Titan, Diablo 4, which class are you planning to rock? Have you rocked them all, and what is your preferred one, or what are you going to start with?
I started with a Necromancer. When that Thai guy, when he was on Crossfire, he was talking about. I'm really glad that I went like I don't know. Necromancer's always been my favorite, anyways. I always like raising the dead, things like that, and like all the crazy things you can do, blood magic, things like that. But I'm really glad he said what he said. He said. There's 2 classes you should start with because it'll get you through kind of the campaign the fastest and easiest way. And he said Necromancer and Sorcerer. He said those were the 2 easiest classes to start the game with. And I love necromancy anyway, so I naturally started with that. I think I'm level like 6 right now. Anyways, I got like I don't know whatever 40 minutes into the game, but yeah, started with a Necromancer. Do I plan on like getting because here's the thing. Once I beat the game, supposedly like you can make a new character, yada, yada, and kind of start from the end game. Here's the big thing that I did learn. When you beat the game, when you make a new character, do not start over at the campaign. Start at the end of the campaign. It'll give you an option. That's one huge thing I did learn from him because I was like thinking like, well, why wouldn't you do the campaign over again? You're going to get all that XP or whatever. But he's like, once you unlock the campaign, it's basically peeling, layers back of an onion. You've unlocked this new layer, which is going to get you that XP so much faster and much more efficient. So I guess there's these like contracts or whatever. Once you beat the game that you do them and you get leveled up really, really, really quick. Like he's talking like, level 30 in like, 45 minutes, I think he said it was. So yeah, That was one huge thing I learned from listening to him on that. What about you? I'm going Necromancer. I got it. What are you doing? Because we should play after this. Is it 4-player co-op?
It
or
is
2?
4-player co-op. Now, when I played Diablo 3, I think I only used one class, and that was Necromancer. I'm also thinking about Barbarian, because we know how Barbarian-like Newf Nukem is. So, big and powerful, a guy that can get in the mix with all the, all the monsters and lay down some heavy damage. I'm slow and lumbering, but powerful. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes there. But I'm just asking everybody else in the chat what they're rolling. Nick said he's was rolling with the Druid. We had someone else that I think was rolling with Talos said he started with the Necro. Now he's running with the Druid, so the Druid seems to be kind of popular here. Druid, I'm guessing, is probably like more magical based, I'm guessing.
Well, I saw Ains put out a little I don't know, what do you want to call it, like a guide on how to make a beast Druid. But that Tie Guy, whatever the fuck his name was, he said the Druid is like,
just call him Tie-Dye, man. That's it.
Tie Guy.
Tie Guy.
For the Tide Guy. He said Druid is one of the like slower developing classes. He said some of them, like, they're all good in their own way, but they like develop at different paces. And he said like the Druid is definitely one to do as like a secondary character, because you love, if you beat the game, you start after the game, you get those 10 points or whatever, the 10 skill points, and you can put that directly into your Necromancer, make him feel good much faster. So, but yeah, I don't care who you guys play. I just hope we can. I hope you guys can see me online, send me an invite, and we can hook up and do some freaking Diablo. Because definitely after the show, I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be rolling through. I'm on spring break, people, so I'm ready to go.
Nice. Geo Walker, what's going on, man? He's Necro level 51 right now. What is the top level anyway?
100? I don't know. Maybe 100. I don't know. I know
Jago
it's like
Kukin is in the house. Jago, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here. We got a super chat coming in from our good friend of the show, Splendiferous is here. He drops $2. Go ahead, Titan.
I choose Farmer because I've got hoes in different area. Well,
that's not the super chat, but you go ahead.
I had to read that. Anyways, Splendiferous, $2. Wow, world going to sheet all over again. Dirt bags in the house. All right.
Good. You were able to pick up on the little symbolism there. Dirt bags in the house, baby. Woo! Good to be back. The Gaming Fuse podcast. All right. Good to see everybody here, man. A lot of great faces here. Awesome stuff. Awesome sauce. So so far the Metacritic too on Diablo is sitting really well. I mean, I think it's in the 90s. So, it's another winner, and, it's a good thing. And obviously if, the deal goes through pretty soon, the Activision Blizzard deal, I mean, technically that would be the Microsoft game at some point, or a Microsoft published title. But Diablo has always been kind of a hot thing. It certainly was very big for years at the PC market, and they've slowly transferred it over to console. And I think Diablo 3 certainly built quite the following. I knew people that were playing it for years. And then they just recently had, Diablo 2, like the remaster of that. They published that too. So, it's just been one of those games that's easy to get into and has lots of varying levels of progression and great character class, and the graphics look really good in the new one. I see they've added some horses. Am I right on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I even got my Diablo shirt on. I washed it just for the show.
Look at that.
I got this in one of those gamer boxes or whatever. You ever order one of those gamer boxes?
Oh yes, those ones that have all the shirt and the stuff in it.
All kinds of random crap. Yep, yeah. I got the shirt from one of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody seen the Series X in the store yet? The Diablo combo? I've seen the regular Series X, but I haven't seen the Diablo bundle yet.
I have not. Yeah, that's a good question. Chat, let us know about that. But yeah, Diablo up in the 90s. I believe it. And you know what? The thing is, like, because I don't know how, I guess a lot of people's complaints about Diablo 3 was like kind of lack of the in-game content, but supposedly there's already 2 expansions in the works for Diablo 4.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. And they're going like kind of games as a service. So they're going to be kind of like you go to the store, you can already buy some pretty sick stuff. I looked at it right before I got on. There's some pretty sick looking cosmetics on there. I don't know about the stats on them, but I know you can transmogrify things like that. So
Now, am I wrong by saying that I think, if I'm correct, isn't the new Diablo as well? Isn't it crossplay?
I would imagine like
Anybody,
things have been crossplay
I
pretty
know
consistently.
number 3 was not crossplay, but I would imagine that the new one is, which would only help extend the player base and add longevity to the game for sure. Anyone in the chat confirm that it is crossplay?
Percolator says it's crossplay.
Yeah, I would figure it is. A lot of people are going with that now. It's amazing where we're at, when it comes to crossplay. Not to get off topic, but remember a few years ago when it was very taboo and nobody seemed to want to do it, there's very few, and all of a sudden it feels like almost every game now has it. And I'm all for crossplay as long as the option is to turn it off. Because I think crossplay works well on some levels, and on other levels it can be a detrimental thing, right? It really depends on the kind of game that you're playing. Obviously, certain shooters definitely work more in favor for people that are fluent with a PC.
Yeah, and a lot of games you cannot turn it off in a lot of those games, like especially those first person shooters like Call of Duty. You cannot turn crossplay off. And that is really
you can on the Xbox. You have to go into your Xbox setting to disable the crossplay.
Yeah, but it's like I've done that before, and like I could never find a game. Like
I was going to say, then it creates havoc with matchmaking. And on the PlayStation level, you can actually do it through the actual game itself, I think.
Yeah, the PlayStation does it. I guess does it much better than the Xbox. I've heard
it's
a lot
easier. Yeah, there's less stuff that you got to stumble through for sure.
Well, less stuff, and I heard that they can actually find games when they turn it off. So I really wish Xbox would figure that out. That is something that needs to be brought up more often, because from time to time, I really get tired of those freaking cheaters, man. But the thing is, like, when it comes to like ranked play, how can you turn off crossplay like with PC and ranked play? Right? Like,
right.
Everyone's in the same place. So that's kind of muddying the waters a little bit. But as far as like, especially during like casuals, you should absolutely be able to turn it off and find a game, yada, yada.
Right. Brother Cyber Gunter's in the chat. What's going on, Cyber? Good to see you here, my friend. We got a great turnout going here tonight. So we're going to thank you all so much for coming out and being part of the inaugural episode of the Gaming Feud podcast. And we hope that you're enjoying what you're hearing so far. Like I said, just as a kind of a soft launch, so to speak, and hopefully get better with more panel members and, again, more of a format as it sort of tabulates itself in the weeks to come. So let's kind of move past the Diablo conversation. We'll come back to Diablo, in the coming weeks as the game is out, more people have had a chance to play it. But let's talk about, some of the statements that Aaron Greenberg has been bringing up. A lot of people hoping that the Xbox showcase is not going to be a smoke and mirrors filled with lavish CGI trailers that aren't representative of the games shown. Well, according to Aaron Greenberg, he says there will be none of that at this show. It will be essentially in-game engine or actual footage of gameplay, and that bodes well. That sounds like some of the games that they're showing may be very well close to completion. So, Titan, what is your, hopes for this show? And what are a couple of things you would really like to see for this show to be successful in your eyes? And I want to pass that out to the chat as well. What are the 3 top things, at least, in the show you would like to see for Xbox to consider it like a good, successful show in your eyes? The stages there is essentially with Sony kind of dropping the ball and not really... obviously you can't change the course of where Xbox is because their show was planned long before Sony dropped their showcase. But, this is a big time, and this is a time now to gain a little bit of faith back in the brand where they've kind of lost it a little bit in the last couple of months. So go ahead, Titan. What would you like to see from Xbox? And hello, Web Dave. Good to see you here, brother.
Well, this is one of the 2 topics that have really gotten me like riled up to do podcasting again. It's really made me miss it because I've seen a lot of misinformation out there as far as like ABK deals go. I've seen a lot of ridiculous takes. I've seen a lot of people take the right things and come to the wrong conclusion. I've seen it all, like while I've been gone, I'm going to these these podcasts where like there's these huge chats, and most of the time your word doesn't get seen or whatever. So that's why I love having these smaller podcasts to go to, because man, your voice gets out there on shows like these. So it's really important to have. But as far as the show goes, like I've seen, I want to talk first about the ridiculous take, like Sony just needs to show up, and well, they did show up, and there's, to me, they didn't do much else. To me, like you said, you liked the show. To me, they
just to clarify, I liked it. I didn't think it was awesome. It didn't blow me away. Sony made some egregious errors there, something that I'm pretty sure Xbox would have got slammed for as well. But overall, I thought it was at least competent. I mean, they showed off 30 plus games. They had some really good VR stuff on display, so I was happy to some extent.
Yeah, I think the two things saved them was the VR and the Spider-Man at the end. But that, like, I got 3 things out of that show, and I don't even watch those live. I will never watch a freaking State of Play live. I will never watch a Sony showcase live, because they're garbage to me. 3 things in that whole show. Foam Stars.
I still laugh at that one.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell is this?
Live service. So like they're going hard on that, man, right? Like
so when is the Bukkake version coming of Foam Stars?
The Bukkake? What do you mean by that?
Porn stars. There you go. You're just littering the whole screen with different colored jizz.
Oh my.
Hey, that sounds like a great phone game. Porn stars. Litter the screen with jizz.
One of the things that people were saying is, what Xbox needs to do to like beat Sony. Like I think, I'm pretty sure everyone has come to the sense that Xbox doesn't have to do much, and that I've seen a couple people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Xbox, they're not going to stand a chance." Like, what Sony's showcase did you watch? Because I can name 3 things that show was good for. The Foam Stars, the VR, and Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's kind of getting long in the tooth, by the way. Like that was their one surefire hit. But like, here's the thing that Sony faithful would never admit: that
it didn't look as next gen as I'd hoped. Let me tell you about that. Yeah. I mean, it looked good, but I was like, man, like, you remember when we saw the first like sort of like trailers for it, and it looked like wow, and then you see this and go, wow. That just pretty much looks like another version of the last Spider-Man game.
It definitely is. And why? Because it's not UE5.
Copy and paste.
The Unreal Engine 5 is like the only thing pushing games into the next gen. It's like, you know what? I don't think... You look at a UE5 game and you're like, you know what? I really don't think last gen consoles could have done that, especially not at 60 frames. These visuals and everything going on in the UE5, like when you got the Lumen and all this stuff, all those tools combined, I don't think can be done in last gen. But Spider-Man's not UE5. Is it going to be a good game? Sure, I'm sure it is. But
well, half the people in this chat are probably going to have Spider-Man for sure when it comes out, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a highly rated game. I'm looking forward to it, and that's not going to change the fact that I'm not going to buy it. I'm definitely looking forward to it and can't wait to get my hands on it. But, with saying that, again, it just, well, this game is only possible with the power of the PS5, and it's made from the ground up in the PS5, but then you kind of look at it and go, geez, but it still looks like the last version.
You put up
we got 108 Dragons TV in the building. What's going on? One of the most charismatic guys in the entire podcasting game. 108 Dragons. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here.
Can you put a poll up in the chat and ask them? I want to know the chat's opinion. Are they getting Spider-Man fatigue? Yes or no? Because I think a lot of people are, and I'm like starting to see hints of it. Even with Sony faithful, they're kind of like, because like you think about it, like, who's been carrying Sony for like at least 3 years now? Insomniac, right? That freaking studio. Imagine Sony without Insomniac. Imagine if like Xbox would have jumped on them. Holy crap, would Sony be in trouble? But boy, oh boy, they're like saviors for Sony, I feel like. But anyways, the thing that I don't think the Sony faithful will admit is the hardcore, I don't think they're going to admit that they got Spider-Man fatigue. And switching to Wolverine, perfect timing. How many more Spider-Man games can you have in a row before people start saying, all right, where are the other games at? All right, Spider-Man's been here dang near every other year. Where are the other games?
Spider-Man until they've had every iteration of Spider-Man that's ever appeared in the comics.
My thing about with this one is let's really look at this new Spider-Man from what we've seen of it. All I'm seeing is like a reskin. How is this game not co-op? That's what I'm asking. Why is anyone else asking this? How is this new Spider-Man 2 not co-op? And how cool would that be to like sling webs like right by your buddy or whatever? One's black, one's red, yada yada. Like that would be so freaking cool. That's huge.
It's a good thing Sony never makes a game about having sex, because theirs would be a masturbation game only, because they do not know how to mingle with others. They do not know how to co-op.
Splen says he can't get tired of Spider-Man. Okay. I don't know. I got tired of Smite after 8 years. Spider-Man's going on what, like 4 or 5?
We can get tired of almost anything, when it comes to it. I mean, anytime look at Assassin's Creed. Like, people love that game, and then all of a sudden they have one every freaking year, and you just kind of went, eh. I think it's like anything. If you make too much of anything, or it starts to feel like a cash grab as opposed to, something that's ingenious and built with a lot of love and attention from the ground up, then it can get old pretty quick. I mean, there are some anomalies out there like Call of Duty, which has a new game every year. But with saying that, you look at the diehard Call of Duty guys, there's a lot of people there that suffer from fatigue and they don't feel like they want to pick it up day one anymore. You got a lot of new people that play that each and every year that kind of keeps the franchise rolling. But, when you sit down to play a Call of Duty, a lot of times you're just like, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know.
Jago, because Sony doesn't do multiplayer games. Well, what's Foam Stars? I mean, they're starting to dip their toe into it, right? They're starting there. They're getting there. Now this is what's going to be hilarious when Sony does really start to dip their toe in these multiplayer games like Foam Stars, and they are going to be in a real surprise, like how hard it is to make a campaign game alongside of a co-op, alongside of a multiplayer. That's you're 3 different huge sections of a game. I think a lot of Sony faithful don't realize how hard it is to do that balancing with the multiplayer, with the co-op, and yada yada.
We'll just get back on track and back on point here. I'll put mine out there for you real quick. I don't need to see a lot from Xbox at this show. I mean, I think if they have at least 30-odd games again, we'll be pretty happy. Most importantly, look, I think the things we're pretty much going to see, we know we're going to see that big display on Starfield. Let's just hope the Starfield is all that in a bag of chips. Second of all, I think we're going to definitely see some in-depth stuff on the new Forza, right? I mean, that game's got to be pretty close to development. But outside of the stuff that we kind of know, I definitely think now is the time for Fable. I think all things point towards we're going to see something Fable. I'm pretty happy if we do. I also think there's a good chance we see something significant on Hellblade 2. You gotta wonder that Ninja Theory's got to be fairly far along with this game now. I mean, it's been a long time since 2017 since the last one, and they put that game together in just several years. So, look, if they got Fable for me and they got Forza there, and I don't think we're going to see anything Gears related, potentially not, but who knows? Maybe there might be something in the works or some other project from the Coalition, that sort of thing. Plus, there's been studios like the Compulsion, right? They've been relatively quiet since We Happy Few. I mean, I don't really know what they've got on the go. So, look, overall, I'm not going in expecting the world, but I'm definitely expecting a strong showing. And if they bring out at least maybe 3 different games that maybe we've never heard of, like this is in the works, or they blow us away with some special announcement, I'm happy. I mean, I'd love to see more about the Indiana Jones stuff too. The movie, just came out as well, so now it's a good time to kind of ride the coattails of the movie and just remind people that it is in the works and that they're making some progress with it. But, outside of that, I can't wait for the show. I think Microsoft will come out and have a very strong showing for sure. Hardware-wise, we might see something about that little, what is that little device that they were talking about making, that little cloud thing or whatever you hook up to your TV and shit. But yeah,
The little
other
device
than
no
that,
one's gonna care about.
oh, for sure. But if it's like $100 and it gets more people into the ecosystem, that's exactly what they want, right? A little made for Game Pass kind of box, hook up to your TV, and you don't even need like massive consoles and storage space, which has been one of the sore points and one of the talking points about Xbox over the past little while is the storage space capacity, the price of those, Seagate expansion cards or whatever that they've had, which have come down, by the way, but they're still significantly more than buying a solid state drive from a third party to put on your PlayStation. So we've been hearing about a Gears collection for years. Maybe that is something realistic. RWK88, good to see you, man. The Keystone, thank you, Brando Calrissian. Appreciate that. So maybe that's what we see. I don't know. Any further thoughts, Titan?
Oh yeah. As far as like maybe a surprise goes, I've been hearing more and more about a Age of Mythology game, and I played that, man, in like the late 90s, I want to say, maybe early 90s. I don't know, somewhere in the 90s, I think Age of Mythology came out. I love that game, and I love everything mythology, so that would be a really cool like surprise. As far as like my top 3, I think it's going to be the same as a lot of people out there. The Fable is a must for me. Fable is gonna be a huge make or break, and that's another thing. Like, how are people like scoring these shows? If you could show Sony a 9 for that show, like, all right, they got Spider-Man. How many points are you giving it for having Spider-Man on there? Anyways, Fable's gonna be up there. Like, Fable's gonna earn it.
I think it's got to show this year.
Man, that's gonna be huge make or break. That's got to be worth like a point in and of itself. So like 10% of its grade is gonna be Fable is there, and like how much of it is there.
Yeah.
Contraband's another huge one that should be close to finish, maybe within a year or two, I'm thinking. So that'd be really. I got really hyped by that trailer that we saw way back in what 2020 was it? Good God. And last but not least, my final top 3, Avowed. Avowed also, I think, has to be there in some way, shape, or form. And from what Aaron Greenberg has said, and the people are actually hating on what he said, like you mentioned it earlier about, there's not going to be just CGI trailers, right? And that's what he said.
Yeah. That's right.
So
he says it's going to be legitimate gameplay, like in engine or like actual gameplay footage. So
imagine Fable and Avowed, just those two right there are just gonna
that's another good one. Yeah,
knock people's socks off, man. Just those two in engine, where you actually get to see, what type of battle mage you are in Avowed or whatever. If there's different classes, or just how close to maybe Skyrim is it or something. It looks very, you look at it, I look at that game and I think Skyrim, so how close to Skyrim is it, and yada yada. So God, yeah, a lot of people saying Fable in the chat here. I'm seeing enable Fable to the cable. Come on, folks, I like it.
Did you guys really like Fable? Well, I think most of us really like Fable. Fable was a very unique game. I mean, it was a very big title for the Xbox. I mean, back in its day. Sure, the series kind of went off the rails a little bit because after 3, there was a big lull. Then they tried some experimental projects like the Fable The Journey or something for the Kinect, which really was Fable in name only, but not the Fable we wanted. And then they tried to do that Fable reboot a few years ago, which was looking fantastic, but then they decided to do something totally weird, and that was go with that 1 versus 4 kind of gameplay format. And then they shut down Lionhead, and the whole thing just went to schmuck. So, like I always say, and I think we all agree, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Fable was never broken to begin with. It just needed to get bigger and better, and they kind of stopped before the series had even pinnacle. I mean, if you look at it, the first Fable was popular, but it came out on the original Xbox, which didn't have a chance to really make enough ground to like make that game a household name. You know what I mean? The diehards liked it. And then Fable 2 and 3 came out on the 360. And again, it kind of got overshadowed by a lot of other things. And the third one, I think, was definitely the weakest of the series, but it had lots of promise. And I think for the most part, Fable is kind of like Xbox's version of of the Legend of Zelda to a certain degree. It has that potential, that capacity, right? So let's see what this new one is. The environment. The main thing is they got to kill it with the graphics, but they got to keep the humor. That's the thing about Fable. It's always had that quirky British humor. The demon doors and the conversations and the weird shit that you could do. Like even like in the old Fable, like getting your wife pregnant and then you could cheat on her and the whole 9 yards. It was kind of crazy stuff for a game, back in the day when you think about it. It certainly did a lot of things that no other game had tried, and it did it with a certain charm. But I also think part of Fable's problem was the fact that Peter Molyneux, who was the brainchild behind Fable, he overhyped it or overpromised a lot of things to it, Fable, and they never materialized. Like it was a game that was too ambitious for its own right, much like that Kinect game, with the little kid that had everybody freaking hyped through the roof, and then they killed it. I forget the name of it, whatever it was called, Project Milo. Remember that? So Peter Molyneux was really good at building the hype but not delivering, and that was part of its problem right there. So sometimes just keep your mouth shut and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. If you never played Fable, go back and play it. I mean, you can play the original now with was it the original is like the remastered version or whatever, and they play and look so good on the series consoles. Kylo Milo's in the building. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here. So look, I think for a lot of us, most of us will at least think the show is a pretty good success. If they show, if we see Starfield, Forza, and Fable right off the bat, we're all pretty happy. We know we're seeing Starfield, right? So already it's shaping up to be pretty good.
Yeah. Before I start my next thing, I got to go ahead and say, Joe Dunmore, what's up, buddy?
Waiting for you to do that. Yeah, Joe is here. Good to see Joe in the chat.
I'm a little rusty. I'm a little slow with the chat going back and forth. I'm a little rusty. It's been a while.
Royal Boyless's Fable wasn't saying, you know what? And lots of people felt the same way. Like, to each their own. Some people just need to come back to Fable, I think, as well, and give it another chance. Maybe it's one of those games that you just never got far enough along. And it is not for everybody, But then again, The Legend of Zelda or the new Zelda games aren't for everybody either. I'm really not a big fan, but yet they're rave reviews and everybody's buying them. So there you go. So, all right. Well, we hope everybody's excited. By the time we come back, let me see. When is it next? Not this Sunday, the next Sunday, right? Oh, yeah, so we'll be able to talk about the show after on next week's podcast.
Yeah.
Right. That'll be a big podcast next week. We'll be going over some of the highlights and stuff from the show. Plus, we'll be announcing the third member of the panel who will basically decide if he wants to continue being a panel member or just wants to come on as a guest, that sort of thing. But I think we're at that time right now, Titan. Unless you have some further thoughts, I want to introduce everybody to one of the newest members of the, the club. We all know that, Gaming After Dark was famous for Safe House Sam and Cletus and Arnold. Well, now we've got a new person into the fray. Someone who isn't just a voice, but a face on the screen. Are you guys all ready? You want to bring him out, Titan, or you want some more to say on the Xbox thing?
My goodness, bring him out. I'll talk afterwards.
All righty.
Because I don't even know who this is.
Bear with me here.
I'll talk Fable in a little bit.
All right, I want to introduce the world. Titan's already laughing because he's got the screen here. All right, everybody, are you ready? Here he comes.
Oh my God, you got glasses on?
Hey, everybody! Hey! Oh, shit, I'm out of the screen already. God damn it. Hey, guys! I am Handy Andy. Where's this? Who's in control of the fucking camera here? God damn it. So, how's everybody doing? Yeah! I'm excited to join the show. It's the first time I can ever recall there's a freaking puppet on the show. Yeah, I don't know. I was hanging out with this Safe House Sam guy, and he said, "Hey, we need some more youth on the show, and we need someone who looks intelligent." And it was really cool with Titan being here because I'm basically still in school. I'm always learning. So we hope that you guys are having a great night. And I'm Handy Andy for a reason. I've got a very sticky right hand. I like to watch lots of porn, and I suck at almost every subject in school. But if you're really good to me, I might suck at more than that. But yeah, it's really cool to be here. I am Handy Andy, and if you got any questions, fucking bring them on, bitch. Let's go. Sorry
Oh
for
my
my
goodness.
language, but I heard this is a rated R podcast. Yeah. You guys like my hairdo? I went and got a special on. Yeah, it's a special. How you guys doing?
You're lucky we're on spring break, Handy Andy.
We
All
are
right.
in spring break. I think I have a failing grade going into this year. I've been in like grade 6 for like 5 years now. I've got the biggest dick in my class.
do you got summer school this year, Handy?
Oh, I got summer school. Indeed, because I keep flunking. And my mom is gonna send me back in.
How bummed were you when you figured out you had summer school?
I was fucking bummed out, but you know the best part about summer school is I like to sit in the back of the class and look at some ass. And as long as you got a nice girl with a big old patootie booty, then I am down for that. Yeah.
Iceman says you got some yellow teeth, man. He says you need to brush them things.
Yeah, I got a little bit of plaque. I actually got a plaque one time for having so much plaque. Yeah, it's a bunch of plaque. You guys, I hope you're digging this shit because seriously, I don't want to have to get naked up in front of you up in here. You might see a whole lot of stuffing. Stuffing for the muffin. Yeah. Baby.
Yo, so do you want the chat to send us some questions, Andy?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to take some questions. I like questions. Maybe they're hard ones. Maybe they're shitty ones. I don't know. But let's take some questions. And I can talk about video games. I play lots of video games. I have played just about everything. But my eyesight got really bad back in like years ago because my mom, the first console she bought me was the Game Boy, like the original. And that thing is like you're in kind of like really bad lighting. You got to squint your eyeballs and you can't see shit. And it's all freaking green.
All right. 5x equals 25. Solve for x, Handy.
5x equals 25. It's 5, right?
Yeah, it is. Good job, Andy.
Holy shit, I got one right. Oh my god. Can I get a star? Can I get a sticker? Titan, what do you do when your students are good? Do you give them stickers or do you like kiss and hug them or some shit? Oh, then again, I suppose you can't really touch anybody anymore. You can't even give them a high five now. They might say you just fingered somebody.
I definitely give them verbal praise. Like, very good job, man. Excellent. Even if they get it wrong, because what trying is, we learn from our mistakes, Handy. Do you know that?
So you look at them and say, you're a stupid fuck, but you did good today?
Something along those lines, sure.
Something like that? Yeah, okay, well, that's usually what the teacher tells me. You're a stupid fuck, but she normally tells me when the class is over and I'm like walking away. She just kind of whispers behind my ear, like, you stupid fuck.
Mental 9R. We got a question from Mental 9R.
Let's take a question from Mental 9R.
Says, Andy, what's your favorite game and why? Well, I'm gonna keep that to video games, Andy.
Well, I'm really starting to dig virtual reality. It's so cool. Have you guys checked out porn in virtual reality yet? Holy shit! My dad told me it was just like being in porn row. What do you call it? The pervert row or something? All that shit. Yeah, like that's really cool. But just being realistic and being like on point now. I kind of like Kirby. I like Kirby games. One, they're easy, and he's a big pink ball, and he fucking sucks at everything. He literally sucks shit into his mouth. He kind of looks like my face, but he's pink. So he looks like a giant gumball. I don't know, Kirby's cool, but I don't really know. I could play just about anything.
All right, I'm just asking, Axel, rephrase that question in the chat. I'm not exactly sure about that question. Can you rephrase that? And while he's doing that, okay. Princess Zelda says, what kind of rewards do you like to get from your teachers, Handy Andy?
Well, I love it when they give me candy. I love candy rewards. I like suckers. And I like gumballs. Tell. Yeah. I like candy, it's cool. But often when the teacher says, oh, Andy, you're so brilliant. Oh my God, I start to get moist in my pants. Oh my God, I'm a little wet right now just thinking about the teacher saying, oh, Andy, you're so good. Stay a little bit longer.
All right, I think that was a good introductory to Handy
Yeah,
Andy,
I think
man.
I've had enough now. I think I hear my dad calling. I might have to go. I got homework to do and shit. Well, even though I'm on spring break or whatever, but it's so good to be a part of this fantastic podcast. You guys got the coolest chat in the world. You got a fucking superstar for a co-host and Titan Drago. Maybe someday I'll have like a Drago's Corner. I heard about how cool that was. Maybe we
Oh
can
my goodness.
debate each other. One thing's for sure, I've got better hair than you. Definitely got yellower teeth than you. But anyway, it was really fun being here, and I hope you guys really enjoyed my time and visit on the show.
Let me see your
Anyway,
hairline, Andy.
what?
Let
Oh
me see
yeah,
your
I do.
hairline.
I know. I need to get like I'm gonna buy one of those Donald Trump toupees. I think that's what I'm gonna get. Okay, that's what I'll get the
Hold on.
toupee thing. In the meantime,
Men-
I gotta go because honestly, my ass is really tired because Newf Nukem's hand has been up in it for like fucking 50 minutes. Ah! Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. See you next week.
Excellent. That's awesome. A new character had to have fun with. Yeah. Handy Andy in Drago's Corner. I've already got a few for Andy.
There you go, guys. Handy Andy, I've been dying to introduce you to him over the last couple of months, obviously. So, what are you doing, finger and puff? It says Kyla Milo. Oh, my hand's a little sweaty now. It smells like puppet shit. Anyway, Flamish is in the building. What's going on, Flamish? Next, Jago. Make Kirby sack puppet, please. Indeed, I'll just put a big pink gumball on my hand. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's it, Handy Andy. I'm not going to keep these guys too long. I'm just going to come by and say hello. We got a couple of people like this guy. How about you? Step in here.
Well, hey, Finley Cletus here. How's everybody doing? Anyway, I'm not going to stay very long tonight, but let me tell you, it's a good time to be here. I'm glad to be back on this the Gaming Fuse, which has got all the, well, hardly any news. But anyway, Gaming Fuse, we's here, baby.
It's nice guy. What? Oh.
Everybody is Save Out Sam here. Yeah, the guy with the crustiest voice and all of podcasting. I am going to be here. I don't know how often I'm going to be here because I might choke up my own saliva. But anyway, guys, I'm here. I'll be taking your questions and I'll be answering shit for you over the next little while. But it's good to be here. Titan Dragon, good to see your ugly fucking face back in here. Yeah, baby, we got to do this. This show is me a rolling, baby, yeah. And let's go Xbox. Let's have a good fucking show or I'm coming down there and I'm going to kick some asses, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I love being on a show when fictional characters are more popular than I am.
We got a super chat coming in from Rock $88.99
for Handy Andy's Corn Hub. Oh my God,
Corn Hub subscription. Corn Hub, that's awesome. Corn Hub. That sounds like something Cletus would invent. Fucking Corn Hub. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh shit, guys. Awesome. We're gonna get out of here though. Titan, any further thoughts before we kind of close out the show here?
Just one thing I'd like to see from Fable, because like remember the old school Fables, like you change your character's looks and the halo and the horns, yada yada, change your character's appearance over time, whether you did good things or bad things, and then it kind of went into your clothes and weapons. Like if Fable holds true to history, which I'm sure it will, like the thing I want to see about that game and what I want to see in this showcase is how are they going to, show your good deeds and bad deeds? Like what new ways are they going to come up with? And they got to do a really good job of really taking it, like showing you your actions, like showing the layout of the land over time. They need to do some of that. And I want to see that in the showcase because there's like, as I'm thinking about what they could do in the showcase, man, they can do a lot. They can hit it from all kinds of angles, and they really need to hit that G spot with Fable.
Absolutely. And people still think that you can kick the chickens, right? The chicken chaser, remember that?
Yeah, chicken chaser. Like I wonder how much they're gonna keep with that, like vernacular and whatnot. But that's one of the things.
I hope that the graphics are like stylized but very good, right?
Yeah.
stylized but very
Yes.
good. And I hope that the mechanics are a little bit. If there's one thing I think, if you go back through all the Fables, the mechanics weren't exactly the tightest, I don't think. So maybe they've improved some of that. And
They
it's
were
going to be
all
interesting
right.
considering the playground is behind them. I think we can count on it looking good, but their experience with sort of combat or, people
The
actually
combat
moving.
wasn't very deep, and I don't know how deep it really needs to be. But I definitely want to see like stylized fantasy yet realistic. You know what I mean? Like a good mixture of fantasy and realism.
Yes, I agree. Fantasy and realism. But, I mean, yeah, because if you go realist, like you're trying to get like Final Fantasy sort of graphic levels, I think you're going to miss the marks. The characters have to look accentuated. They have to look kind of
Mhm.
odd and quirky, that sort of thing.
Well, their last teaser trailer seemed like they were on the right track. Didn't you get that feeling from it?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Like it seemed like they hit it. Now they just got to show it to us during this. And oh my gosh, what day is it on?
It starts on it's Sunday, right?
It's
Sunday
a
the
Sunday
11th?
afternoon. So yeah. Oh man, great. So we're gonna have that. Oh boy, next week's gonna be huge. Can't wait, man. I'm ready.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Alrighty, like I said, as promised, coming in at our closing time. We're at 75 minutes in, so we weren't going to keep any people longer. Obviously, we'll have a lot more to say on the Xbox showcase when we come back, but that is it. That is a wrap for episode number 1 of the Gaming Fuse. Ignite your addiction. Yes, to gaming. That is. Yes. So we hope that you enjoyed the first inaugural episode. Sorry for the technical difficulties off the start. Again, I have the shittiest laptop ever, and we'll have to get a new one in the time coming. But Casket Repair, what's going on? We got KY Bob in the chat. R Rob is here. Dizzy Delta, guys, Mental Night R. Next week, we will introduce you to our third panel member. You do not want to miss it. Yes. And the guy that you just met a few minutes ago will be back on the show. That is Handy Andy. Hope you enjoyed Handy Andy and everybody else. So yes, the Gaming Fuse, FUSC, man. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed what you saw tonight, Bel Air. It's great to have Titan Drago back in the co-pilot seat. And the man is my legitimate Chewbacca. No, it's great. It's great to have Titan here. Princess Zelda, good to have you supporting everybody that came out tonight. So many familiar faces that came out to be a part of this. I can't thank you enough. I really do. I had some people say some pretty nasty shit to me a while back, and I think that anybody who knows the way I do podcasts will know that I'm anything but boring, and I certainly do give a rat's ass about the people that come out to my shows. And I'm glad that you're all here. You're a big part of what makes this successful. I will be on camera most likely next week. Didn't do it this week, but I probably will be on as well, like Titan's doing. I love the backdrop. Looks great. And yeah, so let's let everybody get out of here. Titan, I know you're going to plan to get back to Diablo. Hopefully I can join you, but I do need to buy the game first. So we'll have to see how that goes. Talus, thanks for the comment. Greatly appreciated, everybody. Yeah, so...
Yo, before we let everyone go, I gotta show you the coolest thing to do at Disney World.
Please.
At the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge down there. The droid shop, man. Making your own. I made this droid from scratch. Like they're remote control. They go forward, they talk. They got different personality chips. Make them talk and do different things. They interact with each other. So freaking, this is one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life was build a droid, man.
That's awesome. Does yours kind of scream like you do?
You name it, man. And they get crazy with some of the different personalities. It makes them all kinds of crazy noises. But yes, man, definitely, this is one of the coolest fucking things you can do. I made one. Both my boys made one, and we got a BD1 unit as well.
Does it have a hologram? Does this help you? Obi-Wan Kenobi Titan's about to tighten my bolts.
Man, that would be a good addition. That would
be if they actually had like a little. You could program a little hologram into them. Holy shit, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be sick.
You like put it on your nightstand and press the button, like a little hologram comes out, like "Go to bed, you little shit."
They do have like extra things you can put on them. Like my son bought some blasters you can put on the side and like shoot the blasters with the remote. Oh my god, it's so freaking cool though.
That is really cool. I've never been to any of the Disney places, so maybe someday we'll make it work. Alrighty, but that's it for us. Until next week, Titan, let people know where they can at least say hello and catch up with you, my friend.
I'm on Twitter all the time and on Xbox. I'll be jumping on Diablo right after the show, everybody. So, yep, everything at Titan Drago. Till next week, everybody. Don't forget to bring the common back to sense.
Alrighty. And you know where to find me right here. And when I'm not hanging out on this particular podcast, I am hanging out with the gentleman that's in the chat, Mr. KY Bob, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 Mountain Time, on the Game Set Live podcast. We'll hopefully check you out over there. You can catch me on that show as a co-host there. And obviously, we'll have a show this Thursday night. And looking forward to next Thursday I won't be there because I'm going to be in Niagara Falls, Canada. But I will be here again for next week's show. For this one right here, the Gaming Fuse Podcast, episode number 1 is now officially in the books. You're all amazing. Thank you so much for your love and support. We'll see you next week. Again, thanks, Titan, for coming out. And don't forget, join us next week as we introduce our new panel member as well. So we'll be a trifecta up in here. No, I'm sorry, guys. It's not the mag. But it will be something that is very, very cool. And I can't wait to introduce him to everybody. So until then, have yourself a great week. Ignite your addiction. The Gaming Fuse Podcast. Take care. Have a good night.